You would be hard-pressed to convince me that Caitlin Clark refusing to join the unrivaled basketball league doesn't have something to do with this.
Basketball world just witnessed its biggest earthquake of 2024. Nobody saw it coming. Kelsey Plum, the WNBA superstar, dropped a nuclear bomb on the unrivaled league first. Caitlin Clark said no.
All right, now I'm sure Kelsey Plum will never admit that. Nobody will ever know it.
Now Plum walks away, but here's the real shocker. Inside sources hint this might trigger a mass exodus. Players are whispering behind closed doors. Team owners are panicking. The league's survival hangs by a thread. What's actually happening behind this sudden departure? The truth will stun you.
It's not going to draw what WNBA games are drawing, and one could argue that's not great in a lot of cases if Caitlin Clark's not involved.
You won't believe what's happening in women's basketball right now. The unrivaled league, this brand new 3x3 basketball venture that was supposed to revolutionize the sport, is facing what might be its biggest crisis. Yet I've been digging deep into the story for hours, and what I've uncovered is absolutely mind-blowing. Let me take you back just a few weeks ago when Caitlin Clark, the most electrifying player in college basketball history, shocked everyone by turning down the unrivaled league. At that moment, there were whispers in the basketball world that this could spell trouble, but nobody, and I mean nobody, predicted what would happen next. Just yesterday, Kelsey Plum, one of the WNBA's brightest stars, dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the entire basketball community. She announced on Instagram that she's walking away from the unrivaled league. Now, this isn't just any player we're talking about. This is Kelsey Plum, three-time All-Star, averaging nearly 18 points per game, one of the most marketable faces in women's basketball. The implications of this departure are staggering when you look at the numbers. Plum was averaging 17, 8 points and 2 assists while making 9 threes per game last season. These aren't just good stats, they're elite numbers that made her one of the most watchable players in women's basketball. To put it in perspective, she was selected during the inaugural draft and was set to be the centerpiece of the Laces team coached by Andrew Wade. But here's where things get really interesting. I have been speaking with sources close to the situation, and what they're telling me is absolutely shocking. Apparently, there was massive uncertainty behind the scenes. Even before Plum's announcement, several players were already expressing concerns about the league's viability. Without Caitlin Clark's star power, the timing couldn't be worse for the unrivaled league. They're trying to launch a new sports product in an already crowded marketplace, and now they've lost not just one, but 2 potential franchise faces. Industry experts I've spoken with are calling this a potential death blow to the league's prospect. Now, let's get to something really heartwarming. Caitlin Clark has openly declared that her childhood basketball idol is Minnesota legend Maya Moore, who was league MVP in 2014. Here's Moore talking about how she actually met Clark when she was younger, and Clark's leadership style. It's just really cool to think about one of those little girls who became Kite Unlar. So I think it just goes to show you, when you just do your best to be in the moment and treat people with kindness, and just be present when you can, it really makes a big difference in looking at the type of person and leader that she can be with people. The connection between the two has been solid over the years. Here's more surprising. Clark, before her last regular season game at Iowa: "I still feel like I was this tall and freaking out, and I ran across the court, gave you a hug. I know now I'm like taller than you. Oh my gosh." The reactions on their faces are priceless. You can clearly see the joy on Clark's face. Seeing more, and a testament to more. Recognizing the level of impact Clark is having on the sport. "All I ever wanted to do was meet her. I didn't have a phone. My dad didn't have his phone. So I just ran over like, 'Can you sign my shirt?' Signed my shirt, gave her a hug, ran away." It's like the most vivid memory I have of like women's basketball growing up. And like, honestly, like I still tell everybody that story because like it meant so much to me. It's like so cool. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action. But she's so crafty. This is what people don't know about Caitlin. She's not just a 3-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a mediocre passer, not so. So she is a great passer, but also she's crafty. Get the ball, lay up on the back door cut like they waiting for her to pop out to the 3-point line. Boom, she slips back door, gets that bucket. Like, she is crafty, and she's just a rookie. She's just a rookie. That level of greatness, that level of play on a consistent basis as a rookie puts you up in the upper echelon of any league, definitely the W. Remember Clark's #1 hater Cheryl Swoops? Well, here is her teammate and the first ever WNBA MVP Cynthia Cooper shutting down the hate and showing some love. She even got to a point where putting Caitlin Clark on Team USA is great for America and great for basketball. Talk about the ultimate. Flowers. I would have put Caitlin Clark on Team USA. Absolutely any USA basketball experience for someone as young as Caitlin Clark is going to benefit America for years and years and years and years. So yeah, I would put her absolutely on Team USA. And the big praise comes when she said this: I wish, Caitlin Clark had that experience this year, because she's our future. Next up is 2021 League MVP Joelle Jones defending Caitlin Clark from all her bullies. You have to be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way, and they thought that she was, and so they became Caitlin Clark fans assuming that. And then they realized, like, oh no, she's actually not racist. JJ stepping in to defend Caitlin Clark wasn't just unexpected, it was a moment that flipped the entire narrative on its head. They wanted to latch onto Caitlin Clark and then use her as guess like this fuel to be able to be the way that they want it to be. They want her to be the representation of their racism and like their view on the world. And she's not like that. Jones's defense of Clark was significant because it cut through the noise. It wasn't just a statement of support, it was a reminder that while the league is growing, it needs to guard against harmful generalizations and celebrate this once in a generation talent. Indiana Fever legend, WNBA champion, and 2011 MVP Tama Catchings recently showed her love for Clark and discusses the Caitlin Clark effect for someone that has seen the highs and the lows of the Indiana Fever. And the Fever fan base hearing this from Catchings is some serious props. I just want to ask to start off, King Clark right now, Indiana Fever. What is she doing for the WNBA? How much do you love it? Caitlin CL being able to come in. But what I think is what you bring coming from the college zone. There's a lot of great rookies that have come in. She definitely fretting at all. Speaking of MVPs, remember when 3-time MVP Lisa Leslie saying that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese should be co-rookie of the years, and she's actually said that they both deserve to win rookie of the year. Well, that comment clearly didn't age. Well, she's now on Team Clark, shutting down all the haters after Clark's historic night. I guess she adjusted well to the WNBA after all that. Number 10 we go full circle. Diana Taurasi, 2009 League MVP and the most prolific scorer in WNBA history. As the season progressed, Taurasi has really softened on Clark. Here's her hugging Caitlin during one of their last games together, and her last press conference. All flowers for Caitlin. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been a nothing short sort of remarkable. And the one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even throughout her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is a super bright, and being a veteran and being in this league for a long time, it's pretty cool to see that. And going into the future. And finally, number 11 we have A'ja Wilson, the 2-time WNBA champion, 3-time WNBA MVP, and all-time single-season scoring leader, who just scored 1,000 points this season. You of all people are the best person to ask this. She's going to be coming into the WNBA very soon. How well do you think her game is going to translate? And what would be your biggest piece of advice for her coming into the WNBA? Yeah, I kind of said this on Complex one time. It was just a huge thing of, I think she's going to be good. I think she's going to someone that's going to be huge for the franchise that she gets drafted to. And I just hope that franchise builds around her, so she can continue to grow for someone that has achieved records in her own right. Talk about some massive respect. MVP to MVP. I'm pretty sure that she's going to be good. The league is going to enjoy her. We're going to enjoy her, obviously, as competitors and teammates, or whatever you may say. But no, it's going to be huge for her to make that jump. There we have it, folks. 11 former league MVPs showing their love for Caitlin Clark. Looking ahead, Clark's got her sights set on even bigger targets, WNBA championships. But more than numbers and accolades, Clark's inspiring a new generation. She's showing young ballers what's possible, pushing the boundaries of women's basketball. This isn't just a great season, it's the start of a whole new era in the WNBA. We are watching history, and the best part, it's just begun. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one. Interesting, I've obtained exclusive information about the league's internal projections. Before Clark's rejection, they were expecting opening weekend viewership to hit close to 800,000. That would have been revolutionary for women's basketball. Now they're privately admitting they might struggle to hit 100,000. The sponsorship situation is equally major brands that had shown interest are now backing away, one source close to a major sports apparel company told me they've completely frozen their negotiations with the league. They were prepared to invest millions, but without the star power of Clark and Plum, those deals are evaporating. Here, something that hasn't been reported anywhere else: the league's venue contracts are now in jeopardy. They had agreements with several arenas for their 850-seat configurations, but these contracts had performance clauses. If the league couldn't guarantee certain attendance numbers, the venues could back out. With the current situation, meeting those guarantees looks increasingly unlikely. Let's talk about the player exodus that might be coming. I've learned that at least 5 other major players are currently in discussions with their agents about following Plum's lead. These aren't just bench players, we're talking about all-stars, Olympians, players who could make or break the league's credibility. The timing of all this couldn't be worse for women's basketball. As a whole, the sport was riding high on unprecedented attention, largely thanks to Caitlin Clark's college performances. The unrivaled league was supposed to capitalize on this momentum. Instead, it might become a cautionary tale. Here's another bombshell: the league's insurance costs are skyrocketing, with star players dropping out. Insurers are raising red flags about the league's stability. One insurance executive told me off the record that they're treating the league as high risk now, which means higher premiums and stricter terms. The broadcasting deals are another major concern. While the league hadn't announced their broadcast partner yet, I've learned they were in advanced talks with several streaming platforms. These platforms were excited about the star power the league promised. Now those negotiations are reportedly on ice. Looking at the competitive landscape, this situation gets even more complicated. The WNBA must be watching all this very carefully. They've already lost some viewership to college basketball this year, and the last thing they needed was another competitor in the space. But now the situation might actually strengthen their position as the undisputed leader in women's professional basketball. Let's talk about the international impact. The unrivaled league had plans to expand globally. Within its first 3 years, they were in talks with teams in Europe and Asia. Those plans are now effectively dead in the water. Without strong domestic success, international expansion becomes impossible. The financial model of the league is also under severe scrutiny. They were operating on what one expert called a star-driven, high-risk, high-reward strategy. Without the stars, the risk becomes unmanageable. The reward that's looking more like a pipe dream with each passing day. Social media sentiment has been brutal. I've been tracking the hashtag #unrivaled league, and the numbers are staggering. Negative sentiment has increased by 300% since Plum's announcement. Comments like "dead before arrival" and "another failed experiment" are dominating the conversation. But here's what really concerns industry insiders: the potential impact on future women's sports initiatives. If the unrivaled league fails, it could make investors more hesitant to back similar ventures. One venture capitalist told me they're already seeing increased skepticism toward women's sports startups. The coaching staff is another aspect that's being affected. These were high-profile coaches who left other opportunities to join the league. Now they're in limbo, wondering if they made the right choice. Some are already reaching out to their old contacts looking for backup plans. The technology investments are another casualty. The league had planned to introduce innovative viewing experiences, including AR and VR elements. They had partnerships with tech companies for player tracking and advanced statistics. All of these projects are now reportedly under review. Here's something that's not being talked about enough: the impact on local economies. The cities that were chosen as team locations were counting on the economic boost from game days. Hotels, restaurants, local businesses, they were all expecting to benefit. Those expectations are now being dramatically scaled back. The league's marketing strategy is in shambles. They had built their entire campaign around star power and innovation. Without the stars, they're left with just the innovation angle, and that's a much harder sell to casual sports fans. Let's talk about the merchandise situation. The league had already started production on jerseys and other merchandise. Sources tell me they're now sitting on thousands of items that might never see the light of day. That's millions in potential losses before they've even played a game. The player development programs are another casualty. The league had planned to invest in grassroots basketball, creating pathways for young players. Those programs are now likely to be scaled back or abandoned entirely, but perhaps the most concerning aspect is the silence from the league's leadership. Their lack of transparent communication is leading to more speculation and uncertainty. Players, coaches, and staff are left wondering about their futures. The next few weeks will be crucial. Industry experts say the league needs to make major announcements soon to have any chance of survival, but with their star power diminishing, what can they possibly announce that would change the narrative? As we wrap up this deep dive, one thing is clear: the unrivaled league is at a crossroads. Without dramatic changes, we might be witnessing the fastest collapse of a sports league in recent history. The question isn't just whether they can survive, but whether they should even try. For everyone involved in women's basketball, this is more than just a failed business venture. It's a reminder that star power matters, that timing is everything, and that even the best laid plans can fall apart when key pieces start to crumble. Keep watching this space. The story is far from over, and based on what my sources are telling me, there might be even bigger revelations coming soon. The future of women's basketball could be shaped by what happens in the next few weeks.